All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Diggie A2 podcast. I'm your host, Rob Diggie, in the building. All right, so this is still season 3, still the new golden era, but now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of some of the artists that have really started shaping the culture in the mid-late 90s. And you cannot talk about shifting the culture, shifting the paradigm in hip-hop without talking about Kimberly Jones, a.k.a. Lil Kim. I'm going to tell you guys that when I was growing up, this is going to be crazy. I'm actually saying this live on the episode. But when I was growing up, you either had a poster on your wall of Lil Kim or Tyra Banks in a swimsuit. Those are the two mandatory posters you had to have as a young teenager growing up when Lil Kim was coming up. So that is what this episode is about. Lil Kim is a trailblazer. When I mean trailblazer, she did it her way, and we're gonna definitely jump into that in this episode. So shout out to all of our followers, supporters, and listeners. I have 2 new guests that you all have not seen and heard from before, so I want to give them an opportunity to bring them in so you all can meet them and let them share their story with you all. So our guest today is TishLuv and Oren from, or I like to call him Big O. So welcome, Lady and Jen. How are you? And let's start with Tish first. Tish, could you do us a favor and introduce yourself to the audience, ma'am?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. My name is TishLuv. I am a media personality. I also have a record label, TD3 Media, and I am definitely a Lil Kim fanatic. So this is my episode.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So she's basically, ladies and gentlemen, she's a boss. Let's just throw it out there first. She's a boss out there killing it. Be humble. It's all right to be humble. She out there killing it. Big O, introduce yourself to the audience, please, sir.
My name is Oren. I have a booking agency called Book by O. I book guests on several radio shows in New York and other places in the States. Basically, I love Lil Kim, definitely. I grew up listening to her. She's definitely impacted the culture, and I'm ready to talk about all that.
I'm ready too, man. I am ready too. So for our audience, as we always do, we get all the facts out the way before we get into the opinions. So the facts to me are undeniable, and she has won over 40 awards over her illustrious career. Of course, I'm not going to read off all 40 awards that she has won. I'm just going to pick out the ones that I thought were the most significant. So she has won 1 Billboard Award, 1 I'm Hip Hop Awards back in 2019, 1 Grammy, 3 VMAs, 2 Lady of Soul Awards, 2 Source Awards, VH1 Hip Hop Honors in 2016. But what I think one of the most significant things that Lil Kim has is there are 45 albums from the Source that have the coveted 5 mic title. She is the only female hip hop artist that has a 5 mic album. Let me say that one more time for the audience. She is the only female hip hop artist with a 5 mic album. Okay, you guys, you don't know how significant that is. Over every female rapper that has ever blessed a microphone, she is the only one. That in itself, to me, shoots her into the stratosphere in regards to hip hop. But we got introduced to Lil Kim on Conspiracy, which was the Junior Mafia clique. Everybody remembers Junior Mafia. Their album released in August of '95. We got a Players Anthem, I Need You Tonight, which was a sample from Patrice Rushen, which I love Patrice Rushen. Shout out to Patrice Rushen. Get Money remix, Backstabbers with the OJs actually in the video, which is crazy. And then Hardcore comes out in November of '96. Hardcore, you guys, changed hip hop completely. Like, changed how we listen to hip hop. It changed how we look at sex in hip hop. And the reason why I say that is because if you go back and listen to Hardcore, the introductory track is a gentleman, we'll say, taking care of himself to Lil Kim. That's how the whole album starts off. And I'm like, okay, well, this is something I've never, ever heard before.
So I was in the 8th grade too. I'm like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. Like, okay, this is a little bit different. And then after that happens, she has Big Mama Thing with I think Little C's and Jay-Z. No Time featuring Puffy, Crush on You remix. I love the Queen Bitch song, Dreams. So Dreams is about her having engagements with male R&B stars, which was clever as hell. I think Biggie flipped that Biggie did it first. Biggie did it first, and then she did it, right? Not Tonight remix, and that is the premise for our discussion today. So Hardcore, if you didn't know, it was 2 times platinum in the US, but it's 5 times platinum globally, and the Junior Mafia album went gold. And Hardcore got 3.5 mics from the source upon its release, but she did release a 5 mic album, which was called The Naked Truth in 2005. So that's all the facts out the way. So ladies and gents, let's dive into the discussion. Once again, welcome aboard. And of course, on our platform, ladies go first. And if you all did not know already, TishLuv is the first female guest on season 3. So shout out to Tish, shout out to representing females in the industry and females in hip hop. So truly humble. So me being a gentleman, we're gonna have the lady go first. And Tish, what does Lil Kim mean to hip hop in that particular time in the mid to late 90s? What does she mean to hip hop?
Lil Kim, if you listen to hip hop today, you still hear Lil Kim. You still see the impact Lil Kim had on hip hop. I think that today's rapper, really, this is what we talked about before. We really can't see a today rapper, female rapper, getting to global status without the Lil Kim sauce sprinkled on top of whatever style that they're, bringing out, whether it's the clothes, fashion, her lyrics, just everything about Kim. She brought, I don't want to say she brought sexiness, because shout out to the females that came before Kim. Right. They had sex appeal. But I really feel like Kim brought a little bit of raunchiness. She brought glam to hip hop. And the way she did it, she exuded intelligence. She exuded beauty. She exuded strength, confidence. And I think that every girl in the world, when they first heard this little tiny 4'11" girl spit and hold her own with the likes of Biggie, who was and is still, considered the king of hip hop. We were like, that's us. We see ourselves. And like I said, you still see it today. All of the girls that's out, even if you think you're influenced by somebody else, trust me, girls, y'all are influenced by yourself.
Yeah, no question. No question. Big O, same question, man. What's Lil Kim's impact in hip hop to the late 90s, in your opinion?
Okay, so first of all, I want to touch on this where her and Biggie weren't the first to do this, but they definitely set the trend where a male does a verse and a female does a verse, and they're kind of like going at each other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Get Money.
Yes.
She does the verse, and then Kim does it back, and they did it in several songs, and now everybody does it.
Right.
But they definitely set that trend. Kim, as far as so Salt and Pepper was sexy, but Kim was like times 100. Mm-hmm. Borderline softcore porn. Like the lyrics, like
that's true.
Oral anal sex. Nobody was talking about that. They would get she was, like nothing. Like walking on MTV with her titty out, like nothing. She, what I'm saying? Here comes Lil Kim, and she's like it's nothing. Yeah. And shout out to Diana Ross, real quick.
Right. Shout out to Lisa Hilton too, who styled.
Yeah. No, because I'm just saying Diana Ross felt that up. She was like, the clothes, like the way she was dressed, the Crush on You video, that the color schemes, first of all, that was iconic.
Absolutely.
That changed the game.
Yeah. But
how she was dressed, like that, the red scene, the bikini, barely covering her private parts, the green scene with the pasties. Yeah. Like nobody ever wore pasties before Lil Kim. She goes to award shows topless with pasties. Like that's just regular.
Yeah.
The No Time cover, the single cover, everything was see through, no pasties, just standing next to Puff Daddy. Like it's all good,
She gave you shock value until it became the norm And she did it with so much confidence. Everybody else, I feel, not everybody else, but a lot of other people are scared to push the button, and she pushed it and kept pushing it until, like I said, now it's the norm. You hear things that should be like, what? It's like, girl, been there, done that. You heard the hardcore album, you know?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
I feel like hardcore was like Madonna's Erotica album and Ready to Die in one. You know, I feel like Biggie did that. Like, shout out Biggie, Puffy, and Misa Hilton. All three of them, like, they really did that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Like,
no doubt. And what I would say, to Tisha's point was, you know, in one of her verses, you know, she said the Lil Kim, the Black Erica Kane, and Who Remains in Chanel frames. I mean, like, so, you know what I mean? Like, so, and then if you don't get that bar, Erica Kane from All My Children was like a goddess, you know, and you know, going back to the stories back in the day. So it's like, it was clever, it was witty, and she was classy with it, but she was nasty with it too. So it's like, you know, she definitely set the tone for female rappers to showcase being sexy, being showing their sexuality, and she could spit bars. That was the most important thing that I think gave her the respect. Go ahead, Tish. Go ahead, sure.
I was gonna say, to your point, it's so crazy because I grew up and my aunts, I grew up around so many women, and my aunt used to call me Mama Lucci. Susan Lucci was Erica Kane's real name. That was her real name. And they used to call me Mama Lucci. And you know, just you saying that, I'm like, I've been connected. That's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so many girls. That's so many of us. The glam she has, the boss, the big mama thing. Like, Kim exudes that. The Susan Lucci's of the world. Yes.
She did. Yeah. She did. Yeah. So let's go in a different direction. So let's talk about, you know, when we talk about Kim and her influence and showcasing her sexuality, what is the backlash of that? So there's definitely, you know, when we talk about females nowadays, you know, we're in 2021 and we're seeing a lot of like Tish mentioned, a lot of Lil Kim's DNA in a sense, and a lot of the ladies and how they you know, express themselves, which is okay, you know what I'm saying, however you do it. But what is the backlash of that? Oren, I'll let you have this one, Big O. What is your opinion on the backlash of, you know, females, you know, in essence showing their sexuality? Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing for hip hop? What do you think?
It's a good thing, but like Lil Kim did it. She's talented. She did it, you know. But like, there are a lot of artists that the sexuality is all they have, and maybe they're too sexual, which is like you gotta have the music like to speak for itself.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're a tomboy or you're sexual or, you know, you show skin, you gotta have good music.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these artists, they're just, that's kind of all they got. And it's just different. I mean, like, Lil Kim, she was kind of like, she was the first one to do that. Like, you just got to do it well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Cardi and Megan. Like, they're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
But there's like, you know, they actually have good music. But like, then there's like all these ladies on the internet, you know what I mean? Some of them is just like, it's not good. Like, a lot of them can think that they could just mesh a whole bunch of vulgar words together and that's good music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not like Kim, that she actually has bars that's actually good music. And that music never died.
Yeah.
I told him, I always used to play during your show. I was engineering her show, and I used to play Lil Kim all the time, and everybody used to love it. Like, it never died.
Yeah,
like,
that's fact. Tish, the floor is yours. I definitely want to hear your opinion about this. So, what is the backlash of Lil Kim with her success of how she displayed her sexuality in hip hop? Is that a good or a bad thing for hip hop artists?
I think that what Lil Kim did is a phenomenal thing for hip hop because she was Lil Kim. Like, to touch on what Oren said, she exuded everything you needed to be a successful hip hop artist, right? It wasn't just because she was a girl, because she could really spit. She was really fly. You believed her rhymes. You know, she lived the lifestyle, entertainment-wise, but you believed all of that. I think now people take out what they think was the most popular part of her and overly just do that, and they don't realize that it takes so much more to accomplish and achieve what Lil Kim did and really meant to hip hop.
Yeah,
definitely.
So like you said, the over sexualization, like Lil Kim was super sexy, but I still believe she was a boss. I believed what she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, if all you're talking about is sex, so that's not all Lil Kim talked about. It's like it gets redundant. You know, if you just look the part, but you don't have, she had cadence. You know, a lot of these girls don't even have cadence no more. They just think they can mix up rhyme, like you said, and they got the nice figures and the shapes and the, you know, voluptuous, and that's enough. And it's definitely not. But if you have the elements Kim brought, I think it's a winning factor.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I just wanted to get you guys' take on that, because sometimes it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, depending upon which side of the coin you're on. I also agree with both of you that it's definitely a good thing. I think it's great for ladies. It's so tough in a male-dominated genre such as hip-hop for women to feel like, okay, in order for me to get recognized or get notoriety in hip-hop, I got to show some skin. I got to have a little bit of, you know, to your point, Oren, a little bit of talent. I don't have to have a lot of talent, just a little bit of talent. You know what I mean? But back in the day, you know, we had the Bigs and the Pocs to check them. Like, that, we have the conversation all the time. Like, the rappers that we have out right now, we're not going to say any names, but they would not be relevant in the 90s. There would be no. They would get eaten up alive. It was very, very competitive. Not everybody's all friendly and buddy. It was very competitive in the 90s, and that's okay. You know, hip hop changes, that's fine. But I just wanted to get you guys' take on that, because it can be, you know, for a young girl that is, you know, wants to become a rapper, right, and got dope lyrics, dope bars, but doesn't want to show any skin. What happens to her? What happens to her dream? What happens to her, you know, path to stardom? You know what I mean? So it's a gift and a curse, unfortunately, you know, but that's just the way that our society is right now. It's very sexualized. Even the guys are talking about sex in every single song nowadays, but it was always like expected from guys, but taboo when a woman says it. But what like why is that? Why can't it be the same playing field? Because I'm telling you guys, when you go back, I'm telling you, audience, if you go back and listen to Lil Kim's hardcore, it's worse than WAP. It's worse than
WAP is regular.
I'm telling you, like, you're gonna be shocked. It's gonna be like, what? And this was in 1996. 1996, you guys. Like, I mean, like, it's gonna shock the hell out of you. You know what I mean? But so let me pass the mic back over to Tish. Now, Tish, what we have, or what I want to talk about next is the female Mount Rushmore, female hip hop artists that would have their own Mount Rushmore. So the top 4 female artists of all time, who do you think deserves or have their faces chiseled on that piece of well, I think it's granite, or I think the Mount Rushmore in the United States is on granite, but it's really dope. But my point is, who would be your top 4 that have shifted the culture?
The top 4, that is so hard. As if I love my female MCs. Like, it's so hard for me to pick my 4, but I'm gonna do it just for me.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
I'm gonna say first and foremost, can I have 5?
I'll give you 4 in a possible.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I think I need 5.
I'll give you 4 in a possible.
So I'm gonna say for me, because I know I cannot speak for everybody. So for me, I was born in the mid 80s, so I'm gonna go from what I know. I have to say Queen Latifah.
Respect.
I have to say Lil Kim.
Respect.
I have to say Missy Elliott. And I have to say Lauryn Hill.
What was the last one? I'm sorry?
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Okay.
To me, I'm not even gonna give a possible 5. I feel like all 4 of them exuded different things, but they were all great at what they did.
Yeah.
Even if you take, I think that they're like blueprints, right?
Right.
So for some reason, the Lil Kim blueprint keeps getting repeated because I think society takes to that. Like we take to that. But I think that what Lauryn Hill did is phenomenal for hip hop. What she sang, her flow was impeccable. She didn't show skin. You know, the melody that she brought to hip hop, she did it flawlessly. I think that I hate to say it like that because we talked about the biting, but I think that her style is classic. It would always work if somebody was able to do it similarly or sprinkle her sauce on.
Yep.
Missy speaks for herself. Her originality, the fact that she didn't look like you think that artists should look, and that didn't matter because Missy was that dope. You know, you just love Missy. And Queen Latifah, she's the queen. She's Queen Latifah. I don't know what else to say about Queen Latifah. So those would be my 4. I had to pick 4. It's really hard, but if I had to.
Mount Rushmore only got 4 people on there, so you got to get down to 4. All right, Big O, the floor is yours, sir. We're talking about your female hip hop Mount Rushmore. Who would you chisel into that piece of granite?
Oh my God. Wow. First of all, I have to have Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Lauryn Hill, her flows is fire. Like, because a lot of people don't like. A lot of people, because of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is mostly singing. She does have fire bars on that. She has fire verses, but like people, you do have to realize she has the score. She has Blunted on Reality. They have remixes, which actually had different verses. Like she has a lot of fire verses. Like she does not have a whack verse, and she's conscious, and like she needs to be on there. As far as you said, as far as impacting hip hop now, because that's a lot. I want to say Gangsta Boo.
Okay.
Gangsta Boo, because she doesn't receive her flowers. Like every rapper, male or female, not every rapper, but most sounds like 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Cardi B, Iggy Azalea, from everybody. Like that cadence.
Yeah.
They got it from Gangsta Boo. Yeah, she's often overlooked because I feel like she doesn't go the pop route. Like, you know, she doesn't sell out. Let me see. I want to say Salt and Pepper.
Okay, collectively. Okay.
Yes.
I can live with
they
that.
rocked award shows. Like they were the biggest acts in the world, like at one point.
Yep.
Like the performances, like very memorable.
Nice. You got one left.
Yeah. I got to say, I think she knows what I'm gonna say. Like, I want to. This is hard.
I never said it's gonna be my brother.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say Remy Ma. I love Remy Ma. Everybody knows. From writing her own, from like not being like, just being herself. Like they did want to do that to her, where they wanted to write her rhymes. They wanted to give her a little image or whatever. And she's like, no, I want to do this. I want to be myself. And, you know, that gangster, that whole energy, like, that is just really different. And she never really just conforms to, like, she doesn't do like publicity stunts and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so it's just, rap.
I can respect that. And, you know, to your point about Remy Ma, comes from a battle rap background, which, you know, battle rap tested, and that's a really, really tough field to navigate through. And to make it out of battle rap and become a successful rapper is really, really hard to do. It's like 1 in a million where battle rappers can make it out of the battle rap arena and then get popular. It's really hard to pull that off. I don't know why it is, but He definitely make that transition really smooth. But my top 4 is probably going to be along the lines of Tish's, more along the Orange, but that's okay. It's all of a difference of opinion. But I'll say mine real quick to save some time. It'll be MC Light, of course, Queen Latifah, Lil Kim, and I'm with you, Tish. It's a toss-up between Missy Elliott and Nicki Minaj for me. Okay. So depending upon the time of day, when you ask me, okay, what right. One you feel, kind of depends on the time of the day. But to your point, Tish, about Missy, and I can't wait to get to Missy's episode down the road this season. Missy she's incredible, and her originality is unmatched, like literally unmatched. Her creativity is unmatched. But we're not talking about her today. We're talking about the Queen Bee. She definitely gets a chisel on the Mount Rushmore of female hip hop, because what she's done, her contributions, being able to be yourself and be sexual and have bars, that was unprecedented. And here's the thing that I want to tell everybody. About people that say, oh, well, Lil Kim was famous because of Big. Let me remind the audience one more time that when Lil Kim got her 5 Mic album, that was in 2005, which was, 8 or 9 years after Big had passed, right? So let's just get that out the way right now. So, and Lil Kim, she did the bid in the 2000s for a year. She came back then, was right before or right after she got out. She wrote The Naked Truth, which was an exceptional album. They gave her 5 mics. She is the only female artist with 5 mics. I keep saying it because I want to harp it into our audience's head that she did that without Big, without him. She did it without him. So I got to kill the noise when you say, oh, well, she may have gotten popular because of Big and his mentorship. You know what I'm saying? I get that. But she really did come into her own with her pen game later on in her
club anthems, global club anthems. Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I had to point that out.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. So, with all that in mind, lady and gent, I want to get to final thoughts, and of course, Tish, close us out. What are your final thoughts on Lil Kim?
My final thoughts on Lil Kim is thank you. I want to give that queen her flowers. She is respectfully my favorite female artist of all time, rapper of all time. I find it hard to really get into female rappers that don't give me Lil Kim sauce. Nowadays, and even some of your favorite rappers, I know you mentioned your Rushmore, but I feel like, it's the Lil Kim effect that gives some other people their notoriety. Yeah. And I just love her. Hardcore forever, Kim forever.
Word. Yeah. I agree. I love Lil Kim too. It gave me a lot of good memories going back and listening to her music this past episode. And definitely. Just a special time in life. And that's why I love these 5 years of hip hop. It's definitely my favorite 5 years, 95 to 99. Just reliving where I was in life and listening to Lil Kim and watching my homeboys put up her hardcore poster on their wall, like, yo, I gotta get one of those, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, shout out to Lil Kim, shout out to her contribution to hip hop, and we love Kim, So Kim, thank you for what you've done for hip hop and what you've done for ladies for hip hop in particular. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we got to start wrapping things up, and in season 3 fashion, we have been wrapping things up in the form of a 9-second moment of silence for George Floyd in the memory of George Floyd. So Big O, Tish, could you join me in a 9-second moment of silence, and we'll get into our shout outs here in a little bit. Amen. Rest in peace, and rest in peace to all of the others that we have lost due to social injustice, to include, unfortunately, Dante Wright, who was another young brother that lost his life this past week. We got to do better. That's all I can say about that. We got to do better. So, shout outs, lady and gent, who we shouting out this week? Big O, you got the first word, man. Who are your shout outs going to today, man?
Everybody. There's too many. Everybody that supports me. I want to do shout out to Jessica. Word. Definitely, who put this together. We're definitely gonna work. And TishLuv, shout out to get to know me, the free chat, the Matrix Studios. Yes. Everybody, Sincere Rough Riders Radio, the Grind Season Show, Straight from the Gutter. Like, oh, I can go on. 950 Lounge. I can go on and on. So,
and Big O, remind the audience real quick, where are you physically located right now? And
right now I'm in Israel.
You're in Israel.
I want to throw this in real quick because I remember before Lil Kim went to prison, she had this show and she said like the worst part of going to prison when the album drops is like you're not going to get to be in the club when they play your music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was here in Israel in the clubs and they play Light Us Up, they play Whoa, Magic Stick, like Jump Off, like those are bangers that will never die. This global like hits. So
I love Light Us Up. Yeah. But you're in Israel. I want you all to know this brother is in Israel. He's like 8 hours in front of us. So it's for his commitment, ladies and gentlemen, his commitment to be on the show today is unmatched. I don't know what time it is in Israel right now, but he's in
it's 7, 8 o'clock. But let me tell you something. You got the reasonable time, which is great because a lot of these shows are in the evening and like it's 3 or 4 in the morning over here. And it should be crazy. But
thank you, brother, and thank you for your contributions, and thank you again for being on the show today, man. It means a ton to me.
Thank you for having us.
Man, it means a ton. All right, Tish, who are your shout-outs going to, man? The floor is yours.
Shout out to you. Shout out to your wife, Jessica.
Salute, man. Thank you.
Oren, for thinking about me. I love you guys. I love this platform. Please consider me for more. I love talking about this type of stuff.
You already know.
Shout out to TD3 Media, which is my label. Shout out to my artist, London Hill. To the Matrix Studio, of course, my home. What's Up Radio is my other media home. And shout out to Lil Kim.
Word.
Yeah, shout out to Junior Mafia, everybody.
Yeah, shout out to the whole Biggie camp. My shout out is short. I want to first give a shout out to Tish and Big O for literally last minute, like scrambling last minute, getting you guys in the show. Thank you, Tish, for being the first lady on this show this season. Definitely trailblazer for other ladies to come on and get the courage to come on the platform and talk. Not only from the heart, but articulate themselves as well too. So mad respect for you for that and what you're doing. You're a boss. Big O, we're going to be having more connections in the future, I'm sure. Glad to work with you, brother. Shout out to the Queen Jess. I cannot make moves without her. Of course, shout out to Lil Kim and her contributions to hip hop. And unfortunately, you guys, with a heavy heart, we lost another hip hop icon, Black Rob, yesterday. So shout out to Black Rob and his contributions to hip hop. Man, it's just been a tough week losing X and now Rob. Yeah. Come on, 2021. Come on, give us a break.
Oh my God.
We can't keep doing this every week. You know what I mean? I my heart can't take no much of it, man. But shout out to Black Rob. I was a huge fan. So our love and condolence to him and his family. But guys, that's all that we have for you all this week. Next week, we'll be talking about the iconic Bone Thugs and Harmony, one of my favorite hip hop groups of all time. And I might have a special guest on next week, so you guys tune in for that. But that's all we got for the week, you guys. So, of course, shout out to our followers, listeners, supporters, and as first and as foremost, and as always, shout out to hip hop music, hip hop culture. All right, see you guys next week. All right, 100. Peace.
All right.